Hey, how y'all doing today? Thank y'all so much for dropping by. I'm just about to dive right in and speak about lust and temptation. This is something that is just taking over the world globally, due to social media, society. Everybody's glorifying, open sexuality, and everything is just over sexualized now on social media, on the internet, and everybody just starting to fall into lust. And this is really damaging the relationships out here. And this is something that we're supposed to stay away from and fight. God said, flee from lust. This is in the word of God. This is in the Bible. We're supposed to flee from it. We're not supposed, if you're falling in temptation, so you're going to be tempted to do things that you're not supposed to be doing, but you can become weak to the flesh and you still will do it over and over like a repetitive cycle. This is what we don't want to fall into. This is what so many people tend to fall into because they don't know no better. They don't have nobody to bring this to them. They don't have nobody to bring a disciple, a true disciple, to bring it to them and remind them, hey, we got to stay away from lust. We are supposed to flee from it. But so many people have been groomed to society rules now. They just want to move the Bible, move the 10 Commandments, move Christians, move everybody out the way and just live worldly. And that's just not the way, especially when everything is pertaining now to make you tempted, to make you fall into lust. And another thing, this is how so many people end up getting in relationships, moving in together, fornicating, committing adultery. You know what I'm saying? People cheating, breaking up, divorcing, getting remarried, getting engaged, breaking up because they're tempted by somebody else. They thought the grass was probably greener on the other side or something like that. And come to find out, it wasn't about anything. The person just wooed you in with the looks, money, or status. And this is what we're starting to do now here. And this ain't even me saying this. This is just what's coming across my desk. And I'm seeing so many relationship coaches talk about it. So many spiritual people, Christian people. You just have to be awakened to the truth and what's going on. We're not supposed to be living like that. When you are tempted, even me, I get tempted sometimes. But I have to always remind myself that I'm trying to live holy. I'm trying to live righteous. I'm trying to walk that straight and narrow path. And it gets hard sometimes because you're human, and as a man, you are definitely attracted to beautiful, gorgeous women, dime pieces. And some of them, a lot of people, they dress half naked online. So if you're scrolling on social media, like I'm always on social media because I have to be, promoting stuff and editing and, dealing with videos and stuff like that. You have to always be online, and stuff would just pop up on your stories, ungodly things, like people that's doing like OnlyFans, like OF type stuff popping up on your stories, and you have to hurry up and delete it and mute the stories because of, social media promotes these things. It's over sexualized now, and it's just causing so many to fall into this trap, this lust trap, and it is so hard to get out of. This is the snare that you guys have to, watch out for. We are supposed to flee from lust and temptation, things that cause us to fall, because you don't want to be out here building soul ties. You don't want to be emotionally attached to people that just want you for your body. If that's the case, if you are going to deal with somebody like that, they're only going to want you for one thing anyway. You ain't finna be making somebody fall in love with you if they're only after one thing. And a lot of people don't understand it. They'll sit there, I'm going to chase. I'm going to try to prove myself. I'm going to force this person to love me. And it don't matter what. And then when it don't work out, now they want to blame the entire world and go crazy and crash out online. I see so many people online complaining. Like, they're just complaining and ain't nobody doing nothing about it. Ain't nobody stepping up saying, hey, we can change this. If we come together and we spread the message to flee from lust, to flee from temptation, things that tempt you, that causes breakups, that causes you to have a starting lineup of people, and you're trying to sort out all these different people and date all these people at the same time. Like, what are you doing? You already know what that's going to lead to. Somebody's going to tempt you and make you weak. When you keep playing around with fire, you're going to get burned. You can't be out here fornicating, shacking up, living together, not married, getting married, getting a divorce, then try to go marry somebody else, living in sin, living in adultery, breaking one of the 10 Commandments, We supposed to stay away from that stuff. It's hard for all of us, especially if you're Christian, because you feel things differently. You can see things differently. You can see through things like glass. You can feel bad energy. You know you're not supposed to be hanging out, drinking, smoking, fornicating if you're trying to live right. You're trying to live righteous. You know, you're trying to be like Christ. But a lot of people, they done twisted scripture so much, and all these fake false prophets, fake Christians, fake pastors and bishops have told people they can just live like the devil and still make it to heaven. The devil is a lie and the truth ain't in them. We are supposed to flee from these things. You know, a lot of people, they want to live together. They want to do the whole, you know, relationship thing. They want to have kids. They want to do all that and just live together and not ever get married. Unless if they do, they want to waste all their good years doing whatever they want. So now they got to burn themselves out. Well, I done hit that age now. My looks have faded. I aged out. Don't nobody want me anymore. Now I guess I'll settle down. Now, let's just say that do happen. You done aged out. You done spent 15, 20 years with the same person, shacked up, never got married, living in sin. If anything happened to you, if you pass away, you ain't going to heaven because you're living in sin. You're fornicating. You know, and we don't have enough pastors, bishops, Christians, prophets, spiritual people, chosen ones, claim to be chosen disciples. They ain't spreading the message. Hey, y'all, we can't be doing these things. If you're saying you're representing God, you're trying to live like Christ, be like Christ. How? Living in sin? That God don't like sin? You breaking any of those 10 commandments, do you know how holy and righteous you have to be already to make it to the kingdom? You know? People don't like the truth because the truth hurts, but the truth will set you free also, because now that burden is off your shoulder. You finally got that monkey off your back. You know, you don't have to always be so, you know, pushback. You don't have to get pushback on everything that's righteous, everything that's holy, everything that's trying to help you. You know, some people get offended when you tell them the truth. Hey man, you just can't be out here shacking up, living together. We know you want to be family though, but you still got to do it the right way. You have to. If you're claiming to be Christian, if you're claiming to be a believer, if you claim to love Jesus, you have to at least try. We're not perfect. Nobody's perfect. Every man falls short under the glory. And it's crazy because some people will take you judging them, you know, just because you try to help them. You know, that's a veil over their eyes. That means they're blinded, you know, to the truth, because the enemy, the devil, don't want you to see the truth. He wants you to stay stuck. Do you think the devil is your friend? If you're living in sin, you're already walking away from Jesus. You're already drifting away into the world. God said, be in the world, but not of the world. And that's all I'm doing. I'm just spreading the message. Like I said before, I try to always remind everybody, this is a judge-free zone. I don't judge anybody here. We all come together just to spread the truth and, you know, always remind us as a friendly reminder, because, you know, everybody is going through something different. And these times are hard. I know everybody's out here struggling. They want somebody to come home to and make each other happy, not just one person. That's another thing. You can't be a lover of yourself. You can't be selfish. Oh, I'm just gonna be selfish and just love, you know, myself. And you have to do everything for me. It's all about me. See that's selfishness. If you're gonna be with somebody, it's supposed to be about y'all, because when you get married, you're gonna be one flesh anyway. So how? Ain't no such thing. Ain't no I in team. So we have to remember that friendly reminder that everything can work out. Everything can get better if you're willing to work together. A lot of people, they don't want to work together. They're like, I don't care. You know, it's all about me. I'm trying to get whatever I can get, whether it's looks, money, status. Don't want to put God first. You know, don't want to be truthful. Don't want to be honest. Don't want to really be about love and traditional like the good old days. Everybody just want to skip the line to the front. And then when they can't, they get an attitude. Oh, I know you weren't about nothing anyways. So you're not going to manipulate me. You're not going to tell me that I'm not giving my all just because I'm not doing what you want me to do, because I may be on my purpose. I may be in my calling. As a masculine man, as a godly man, strong man, you know, that's not going to ever be a pushover. I have to be honest with that. And I have to be honest with everybody else. As a man is supposed to be a strong leader, puts God first, he the leader, he's going to be the leader of the household. His wife can't run him over, and he's not supposed to be running his wife over. We're supposed to come together as one and be a team and build together like the traditional ways, like back in the day. We don't break up our marriages, we don't break up our engagements just because a spoon hit the floor. This is a weak mentality that they have developed over the years over social media that looks, money, and status, and everybody's glorifying their life online, but they don't show the good times and the bad times. They only show the good times. They don't show both on what it took to get there. So everybody thinks it's just a shortcut. No, you have to stay in faith. This is not going to be an easy walk for everybody. Some people feel like it is, but it's really not. When you're Christian, you're spiritual, you're going to see a lot of different sides to people. A lot of people you grew up with, your family, friends, you're going to see a lot of bipolar moments. 1 minute they're cool with you, the next minute they're not, because they're fighting their flesh. They're fighting demonic demons. People out there in the street, they think their way of thinking is the right way, and it's not. And sometimes you just got to talk to them, and you can fall into lust. We are supposed to flee from these things so we don't end up in all of these problems. We know people is like, well, I just really don't know what to do. I don't want to spend the rest of my life alone. You're never alone. God will always be with you. That's where the confusion comes in with me, because I'm like, don't you know God is always there? God said anyone calls on my name will be saved as long as you're sincere and you're ready to turn away from your wicked ways. You can't say, I'm going to come to God, but I'm going to still live of the world and be living in sin, fornicating, shacking up, smoking, drinking, clubbing, partying, hanging out, doing dope and drugs and, fighting, cussing, fussing, backstabbing, slandering, scheming and scamming, stealing. Look at the long list of things. You have to give up that old lifestyle. You can't even think things wrong. You have to have a positive mindset with God. Everything has to be natural. You have to be real from the heart, giving, loving, showing compassion when people argue with you. This is all the things you have to think about being in a long-term relationship. You got to put your pride and ego to the side as well. So a lot of people don't want to do that. They're like, you mean to tell me I can't cuss them out? Nope. You mean to tell me I can't hold grudges? I have to forgive them and let it go? Yep. You have to always be forgiving, loving, and let it go. It don't matter. It don't matter what they did in the past. You cannot hold somebody past against them. You just can't do it. If you do, you're risking not making it in the gates of heaven. So just holding stuff in your heart, that seed, once you plant that seed of unforgiveness in your heart, it's hard to remove it because it replays in your mind like a broken record. So you don't want to do that. So we try to tell people, just be loving, be caring, show compassion. People mess up. We're not perfect. Stop thinking everybody's going to be perfect. Especially if you claim to be Christian, you claim to be spiritual, you claim to be holy, righteous. You claim to be like Christ. You believe in Jesus with all your heart. You have to forgive, and this is what causes so many breakups. This is what causes so many divorces. This is what causes so many people to call off their engagement with the person they probably went to school with and was supposed to be with, but they traded it in for their pride, for their ego, for looks, money, status, for social media to flex on the gram. This is the small-mindedness that people develop, the critical thinking skills, the things that you're supposed to be like, okay, let me stay away from that. Let me flee from that lust and temptation because I know the grass ain't greener on the other side. And you end up in all of this toxicity because you thought that you were supposed to do that because society told you that it was okay. Now that's just a shame to miss your forever person. I used to always tell somebody this. I used to always tell them, I drilled it in their thick skull. I said, one thing you don't want to do is run away your forever person, because that opportunity, it may take a long time to come back around, or it may never come back around. It depending on your heart. It depending on your forgiveness, your love, and you're praying, you're fasting, you got baptized, you actually stand in the word, you're fellowshipping with Christians. A lot of people don't want to get baptized. A lot of people don't want to go to church. You have to pay your tithing. You have to contribute to the church. You have to fellowship with each other to help each other stay strong through the ups and downs. A lot of people don't want to do that. And you wonder why so many things fail at life. They don't want to put in the work. I had to talk to so many people to put in the work. I say self-improving is going to take time. You don't just look on social media and point at the screen and say, I want somebody just like that tomorrow. And you don't think they put in the work to get where they're at. You don't think, no matter if they got signed to a big contract, multi-million-dollar contract, you don't think it took them time to get to that point? And a lot of people, they don't put God first. So even though they got that big $1 million contract, hundreds of $1,000s or whatever in their bank account, and they get with a person and the relationship doesn't work out because they didn't put God first. That they may get the baddie, just using this as an example, by the way, not directing it towards nobody. Like I said before, judge-free zone over here. I don't judge anybody, but I do have to spread the message when something is on my heart. And just like you feel like you can get to that status, just like you feel like you're hungry, you're ambitious for something, it's like you're so hungry, like you haven't ate in 2 weeks to get to that accomplishment. That's the same way you have to feel towards God. That's how I feel. Like I have to go to heaven. I don't want to go to hell. I don't want nobody around me. I don't want anybody that I come in contact with, that I speak through these videos, through this content, to go to hell, to fail because of one, missed opportunity from hearing the truth, because it's so many chosen ones claiming to be like us, walking with Christ. A lot of Judas, they betray people. A lot of Jezebels, they betray people. We trying to prevent that and limit that here much as possible, so that we can weed out all the fake people, because they're going to disagree with it. Like, you're going to see comments, you're going to see people that they never been raised up like that. Nobody ever told them, or they never went seeking for the truth. Flee from lust. We are supposed to flee from it. Flee from temptation so you don't get, divorced and try to end up with all these different soul ties because you're trying to find another partner out here in these streets. And we know how crazy that can get. You've been locked in for years. It's hard to become single and not be married again and booed up. Going out on movie night, walking the beach, taking trips, waking up to a person every day. You don't think that's going to eat you up inside after the snap of a finger is just gone? A person just abandon you and leave without any cause, no fault law. Not saying just cheating, because cheating allegations do come out too as well. That causes breakup. Lust, temptation, money, struggling out here in the world, that causes breakups. And when you run into these things, right, you have a decision to make, right? We all do. Like, I had decisions to make even in my older days when I was living in fornication. I seen how ugly it can get in a relationship whenever somebody tries to sabotage the relationship and start an argument with you so you can break up, and they can go cheat around, with Chad, Tyrone, Jose, whoever. Thought the grass was greener on the other side, didn't work out. They maybe got into an argument or a fight, try to bend the block and come back. Now you got a decision to make. This person know you still have an emotional attachment. You probably even have soul ties. You probably even slept together. You may fall into temptation and take them back. Now this person is a deceiver. This person is demonic, a low down dirty dog, a cheater, a manipulator, a narcissistic person. But you're so lusting over the moments, replaying in your mind of the good times. That's what keeps you trapped, because you're always trying to make it back to the beginning stages. You're always trying to make it back to that what if it gets back like it was when we first met. The honeymoon phase, the cupcake phase is what I like to call it the cupcake phase. Everything was already ice cream and cake phase. You know, when you first got those first 3 to 6 months, or maybe even that year, but then you put some real time in, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, things start to get a little salty. And then you're always trying to make it back to that what if it gets back. It's not unless you put God first, not unless the person go get therapy to find their way back to Christ, because some people are stubborn, stuck in their ways, or they have a hardened heart and they just refuse to change. I just got to put it out there. And I just want to touch on this. We have to flee from lust, because this right here destroys people. And it's sad to see. I'm sitting back, these things are coming across my desk one at a time, and I'm like, why everybody's not seeing what's going on here? It's the devil. He comes to steal, kill, and destroy, and confuse everything. That's why so much confusion. When you're with Christ, when you're walking with the Lord, you're not going to have all that confusion in your life. You're going to be at peace. God said a person is at peace when their mind is on the Lord. So if your mind is on the Lord, you're at peace. Your mind is at peace when your mind is on the Lord. And that is so true. That's why I pray every day, every morning. Thank God for another day. You know, for this is a day that the Lord has blessed us with. Let us rejoice in it and be grateful. You know, and a lot of people, they're too prideful. They don't think they need the Lord. They think man made everything. For some apparent reason, they're living in a delusion. So that day comes when they do meet God, they're gonna have to answer for this. Hey, listen, I had messengers. I had disciples to bring you these messages, because we know content, we know videos now, it can reach a large amount of people at one time. And now some people, they want to renege. They want to, no, I don't want to live like that. I want to live how I want to live. I want to do what I want to do. See, they're stubborn, stuck in their ways. They don't want to hear it. They're prideful. They're pride and ego in them. Some of them may have money. They may have a large bank account. They worship money. That's adultery. That is their God. And you're supposed to worship, money. We're supposed to worship God. God will bless us with the things we want. That's why I don't worry about it anymore, people. We can't worry about how the economy, how bad it is, how it's crashing. We can't worry about politicians and lawmakers, how they're trying to take people benefits away, and EBT and health benefits and everything. We can't worry about that anymore. We have to stay focused, and we cannot let them control us with the system. We can't do that, because if we do that, then we're going to lose ourselves. And then when you try to find yourself, somebody's going to come across you that's going to tempt you and lead you down the wrong path and lead you away from God. That's not what we want. We don't want that. We don't want to be led from Christ. We want to be in Christ. Let this mind and heart be in you also that was in Jesus Christ. And I'm gonna leave it right there, y'all. God bless.